with Sign is one of those diecast variants that I wouldn't even have noticed was in the movie if he hadn't gotten a diecast. Mater appears holding a Radiator Springs Racing Team sign in pit row during the final race of the first Cars movie, but for the majority of the time that we see him in pit row, he's not even holding the sign, and when he is holding the sign, usually it's raised so high that it's barely visible, and the Radiator Springs Racing Team logo part on the end of the sign is out of frame. You see in the movie the sign is way longer and thinner, but in order for it to work with the diecast, they of course made it shorter and a bit thicker as well. But for the majority of the time that we see it on screen, you just see like this thin wire connected to Mater. There's only one very brief like second of the movie where they focus on the Radiator Springs Racing Team sign when McQueen first stops in pit row, and then Mater puts it down again the second time he stops in pit row. But oftentimes when it cuts back to Mater, again, like I said, the sign is out of frame or is not even on him anymore. So this is definitely one of the most lesser known Mater variants that's gotten a diecast, but I think it's pretty cool because Mater gets his very own special pit crew variant from the first movie, just like all the other townies who showed up there, except Luigi and Guido. Actually, no, Pit Crew Guido is a thing that exists, so I think that makes Luigi the only pit crew member to not have a special version for the first movie. Anyway, guys, welcome back to another review. Today we're going to take a look at Mater with Sign from the 2015 95 Pit Crew series, where he was number 4 out of 8 in the series. A great series, super comprehensive, because it gave us the entirety of McQueen's pit crew from the first Cars movie, and quite a few of them were new releases, including Mater with Sign. Unfortunately, he just has his typical artwork there, but I wasn't really expecting much different. Lightning McQueen's trusty pit crew leaves Radiator Springs to travel the world as Team Lightning McQueen. That's inaccurate. You see, when the 95 Pit Crew series was first introduced in 2014, it was made to be a series for McQueen's pit crew from Cars 2. So it released all of the pit crew variants with headsets. Then in 2015, they brought the series back, making his crew for the first movie, but they didn't change the description. Also, McQueen's logo is from Cars 2 there as well. The image is even inaccurate because My Name Is Not Chuck and all these other guys were not a part of this series. So, yeah. Quite a few inaccuracies going on up there, although, I mean, these guys are part of McQueen's pit crew, and that is a description for McQueen's pit crew, just not for the right movie. As you can see here, we've got Mater with Sign, pit crew member Sarge, pit crew member Fillmore, pit crew member Guido. Saying pit crew member so many times in a row is getting pretty difficult. Fabulous Hudson Hornet with Stand, a car that is ridiculously expensive now. The car itself isn't even new, but the stand that Doc was on was new for that release and remains exclusive to this day, making him super expensive. Unfortunately, Smokey with War Wagon, who was to be very similar to this Doc with this same sort of accessory, was canceled a few years back. Hopefully we'll see him released someday, or at least get this Doc re-released. And finally, pit crew member Mac. I got this guy a few years back. Have both Fillmore and Guido. I have regular Doc with headset, but not the stand. And I actually don't have pit crew member Sarge, so I should probably get him soon. Also, for those of you wondering, since this shows 6 of the 8 cars in the series, the other 2 were Lightning Ramon and pit crew member Flo, or rather the hydraulic Lightning Ramon and pit crew member Flo. A pack that I actually got when it first came out, which is kind of odd because I wasn't really collecting cars at the time, but I think that was the first time I'd ever seen a hydraulic Ramon in store, so I was like, I gotta get that. It's so cool, he's raised up. Wow. And now I have like 5 different raised up Ramones. Anyway, here is this Mater out of the package, complete with his sign. And the first thing you'll probably notice is how strange his tow cable is. It's way longer than usual, almost touches the ground, and it has a hole in it, presumably to connect to the sign, but there's also a hole in the side here. So what, am I supposed to, like, put this up to the hole in the side? That looks like it could sort of work, right? Let me look up how this car is supposed to work real quick. Alright guys, so I just looked it up. Turns out that you are supposed to plug in the side part, of course, into the hole on the side, which I did do, of course, off camera. It was way too difficult to do one-handed, trying to keep the camera in focus with my other hand, so I just did it off camera. Pretty interesting, because it's not often they have you plug, like, pieces of plastic into other pieces of plastic, like, through something like this. Of course, this part of Mater, his back half, is plastic. But this part, the loop and the tow hook, actually connects to this little groove in the back of the sign to make it look like Mater is holding the sign with his tow hook, while in reality, he is holding it with his side there. So, as you can see, looks pretty cool, pretty interesting. I really love the concept of having a Mater whose tow cable actually holds something, although again, it isn't really holding it. It's just sort of giving the illusion of holding it. But that is quite cool. You can see you could raise it and lower it. Moving on to the Mater himself, he's looking off to the side, which is pretty accurate to the scene when we first see him, where he's sort of over here like this, and McQueen drives up over here. Then he raises up the sign. That is so cool. Again, way shorter than it was in the movie, but it goes up pretty high. Got all your typical Mater details, different mouth than usual, which is nice. They really went above and beyond, giving him different expression, different mouth expression even. Got tow Mater, towing and salvage, radiator springs there, yellow back wheel, and blue back wheel there. Of course, the missing lights both on the front and up top. License plate reads A113 as per usual. And here's just a better look at this side with the sign, which of course, as I said earlier, says Radiator Springs Racing Team on it. Pretty sure this is exactly how it looks in the movie. It's not like a McQueen with sign scenario where for whatever reason they replaced the image of McQueen on the sign. I still don't get that. So can you lower this? Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay, you could lower that quite a bit too. Don't know why you would want to. Not like he's going to stand on that or anything. Yeah, it's definitely not going to support his weight. It is very thin down here. Of course, these are definitely stickers applied. Are they stickers? Yeah. Seems like you may be able to peel them off if you try hard enough. I don't know why you would want to do that. But, yeah, they are like factory applied stickers. Anyway, though, definitely very cool. Really like that sign, raising it and lowering it. I don't know how I'll display this Mater, if I'll keep it at his side. I think I'll probably keep it raised up a little. Also, then it isn't in the way of the other cars on my table. But that is really cool. Really nice. A release I feel we didn't even need. There's a look at the base, by the way, since it's in the movie so little. But as I've said before, I feel like any variant is valid as long as it appeared in the movie. And oftentimes, obscure variants like this end up being some of the coolest ones. Anyway, guys, thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye now.